Greetings, everyone. Derek Whalen, the Biking Viking here. Hey, tonight I am starting the 6-week TrainerRoad workout program, and I think it's the base builder. I'll have to double check on that. Anyway, tonight is the 8-minute FTP test. I feel like I've done way too many of these recently, but to do this correct, I figured I would start off as they suggest and do the FTP test. So that's fun. So we're going to get started here. Hopefully everything will work all right. And away we go. As this is an FTP test, there probably won't be a whole lot of me talking. Although there's quite a bit of downtime. They do a few ramp-ups before the actual heavy-duty pull, the last 8 minutes. So we shall see how that goes. I am just checking my YouTube stream now, because TrainerRoad is flashing some informational text on the screen, and I'm just seeing how my stream is showing it, and it probably isn't because it's an overlay, and that's okay. I'll just read it as I see it. And basically the 8-minute FTP test is gonna, bottom line, long story short, kind of predict the level of effort I'd be able to hold for an hour. My current FTP is 260 based on 2 different FTP tests I did using Zwift. So we'll see how this compares. I'm not quite sure how hard I'm going to hit this. I wasn't really wanting to do another FTP test. And it's also pretty late here right now. Haven't had dinner. Worked all day long. Excuses, excuses. Alright, I'm going to start reading what it's saying because it's been flashing a lot of stuff. Just telling me not to blow myself out on the first section, the first 8-minute hard test, so I can gauge what I can do for the second set. And it's saying, because no one wants to endure this process too many times. So basically on the first hard effort, I'm supposed to use that as my gauge to how much effort to put into the second one, how much I think I could do, and to not burn myself out on the first effort. Looks like it's got another minute before it ramps up again. So a quickie about my setup here. I have TrainerRoad powered to my Elite Rampa Smart Trainer. That's the one that it's currently communicating with, controlling the power. Zwift is just reading the power, basically connected as a power meter. And I've got a Garmin cadence sensor on my crank. And a Viva heart rate monitor. So all the data is getting streamed to both Zwift and TrainerRoad simultaneously. All right, time to start gradually raising your effort, is what it's telling me. As your lungs and legs warm, we'll automatically switch your slope mode for both 8-minute efforts. This will happen at the start of each effort. I'm reading here. Just letting me know that since I have a electronic trainer, they're going to adjust some things. And that means you'll have the ability to affect your power. Basically means the harder I pedal, the more power. By shifting gears the way I do outdoors. So it's basically going to release erg mode. Better get a drink while I can here. And of course I have some lovely motivational Viking folk metal streaming to my ears right now. And my lovely little beanie on here. Just soak up the initial sweat. My first hard effort. Like I said, I hadn't planned on recording this tonight, but I was gonna just use my iPad to do TrainerRoad, but wasn't able to get my heart rate paired with it, so I kind of gave up on that. So I went back to the PC setup here, and I'm like, well, might as well share my pain with the world. So initially it'll still look like a fairly easy effort, but it's as hard as I make it when my 2 8-minute breaks come in. But all in all, it's going to be a pretty rough workout towards the end. I'd love to be able to stream the music over my software, but I don't like copyright issues and then having ads thrown all over my site, so I'm avoiding music, so I apologize for the quietness of my stream. I've tried using non-copyrighted material, but I still get copyright notices, and then they still throw ads on my page, on my YouTube videos. I'll throw this up on Twitch as well when all is said and done, if I survive. And it says your FTP is set to 200 by default. In this case, in your case, your number means nothing right now. So it's just giving me a baseline. So go ahead and ignore it, it said. As well as the target power based on simply go as hard as you can for 8 minutes at a time. Being reasonable, knowing you have to last for that 8 minutes. Twice. For those riders who have tested before, me, it's reasonable to expect an improvement of 2 to 3% every 4 to 6 weeks. But this is highly subjective and it depends on a number of factors. Again, I'm reading the screen. Your training history, incoming fitness, your levels of freshness and motivation during this assessment as well as your previous one. And of course, your ability to pace effectively. All can have an effect on your assessment results. But if you want some idea of what to shoot for today, a 2 to 3% improvement is both common and conservative in many cases. So, I don't know if you can tell, but in the slope in TrainerRoad, it is starting to slope up, ramp up the power gradually. Oh, here's setting some more. You face your first 2 in a minute, aimed at waking up your pedaling muscles. So, the first effort is a minute long, and the second is 2 minutes. In both cases, the goal is high leg speed or high cadence and not high power. You can use a small gear. You can turn quickly. Unless you're on an electronic trainer in erg mode. That's me. In that case, just spin the same gear quickly. Here we go. Somewhere to 100 to 130. So I'm going to try to hit it 110, 115-ish. No bouncing, that's what I was starting to do. So it's giving me these nice text pop-ups. I wish you could see them. They're actually they're very large, easy to read. So I'm waking up my muscles right now. Wake up. Alright, and we're backing off. Average cadence through that was 106. Not as high as I wanted. Now I was just saying to keep my RPM around 90 for this break. So I'll try to keep my RPM, or my cadence, right there. And then another 30 seconds, I'm going to have a full, I believe it was minute, high cadence again, not high power. And here we go again. Try not to bounce. bouncing a little. I can't help it. My seat's as low as it'll go. I guess it was a full 2 minute. I got one more to go. My cadence is only 108 that time. Now it's saying keep in the neighborhood of 90 RPMs for this break. And then I got a couple hard spikes of power in another minute and a half. It says, up next, some truer blowout efforts to get your muscles more thoroughly prepared. Again, I'm reading. The assessment effort looming on the horizon. Looming. These are short and potentially very intense, depending on how familiar you are with efforts of this nature. I guess we'll find out. I feel like I'm fairly familiar. It's asking, are you new to high intensity training? Then be conservative on the first one, perhaps both of them. And simply work hard, without risking any damage to your bike or body. Good tips. Everyone else, kill it. 30 seconds to build up to high power. Get into a I'm all out of gears. It's not very helpful. I don't have any more gears. Whew. Well, that didn't quite work like I thought. yeah, I didn't have any more gears. It wasn't providing resistance, so I wasn't able to generate any more power. So I'll have to look up that, because if that's going to be what the 8-minute efforts is going to be like, it's going to limit me. I'm not saying I would hold that fast, but the RPMs I was having to hold are kind of rough. So yeah, there's something not working quite right here, but I'll keep going. When I've done the other FTP workouts, there was more resistance delivered to the trainer, so I was able to generate a higher wattage. So not quite sure what I might need to adjust. I'm already sweating through that. I'm getting ready to do it again. Says build to a high number over 30 seconds and then bury yourself to hang on to it. Well, I don't think it's going to work because there's no resistance to my trainer. I'm doing it a little slower this time. Building. Maybe I went too fast the last time. Yeah, I think that's what I messed up the last time. I think I ramped up too quickly, and the smart trainer is supposed to compensate, but since I did it so quickly, it didn't work. That second time felt better, or worse, depending on how you look at it. Thanks for the ride on. I got both ears involved now. I'm going to need all the motivation I can get. It says with your first of 2 efforts only a few minutes out, let's talk a little about pacing for an 8-minute effort. First tip, and this applies to all time trials, whether in testing or in competition, don't go out too hard. Abide by this rule and ignore all others. And you at least won't fall apart inside the halfway mark. But overdo the opening a couple of minutes, and you'll doom yourself, as well as some less than useful assessment results. It says get this right though, and your next concern is adjusting your effort over the course of each effort. This is a matter of small changes, and the more experienced you become, the smaller these power tweaks will become. Because well-practiced riders will find their groove quickly and seldom stray from it. For everyone else though, most riders that is, you'll frequently face the same decision. Can I work a little harder without popping? Or do I need to back off a little before I blow up? It really is that simple once you've found a narrow range. You'll either raise your effort a little, or you'll back things off a little. A little, it says. 30 seconds. It says, but work hard, but keep somewhat reined in during the opening 50 seconds, 50 to 60 seconds. Then settle into a hard but sustainable pace that you'll think you'll be able to maintain, and then simply micro adjust every so often. All right, I'm micing out here, and we're ready to go. is telling me not to think about the next effort right now. Just focus on clearing the heaviness and lowering your heart rate. Well, like I said, my current FTP is 260, and I just set that a couple weeks ago. So my aim is to improve that just a little bit. I don't know if that first 8-minute effort did it. I saw wattage below and wattage above. So we'll see how it goes for the next 8 minutes. Fortunately, I had a really good song playing. I still do. It's a very long song. Lots of inspirational Viking folk metal, very fast. I might have to replay the same song for the next effort. By the way, the name of the song is Mana. Kind of like Diablo Mana, but Mana, group Equilibrium. Amazing long instrumental. I get my cadence up a little bit here. By the way, this is how you finish off a proper Monday. A little more pain and suffering. Right before I started this, I was talking to another compadre who was live twitching, doing his nightly workout. And I mentioned to him that I was going to be doing an FTP test, and I didn't think I was going to stream it, and he suggested I go ahead and do it just in case I got some more motivation. So you have him to thank for this. Just hoping I don't vomit in the next 8 minutes. That would be fantastic. It says keep your spin comfortably quick but relaxed. Keeping in mind that there's nothing to gain. At least not right now. You're just working through this recovery opportunity. Thanks for the ride on. I don't have my mobile app open, so I can't repeat the favor. See if I can catch him before he runs away from me here. I always like to repay my ride-ons. Stone, there he is. Thanks for the ride-on from Belgium. Return that favor. I'll just leave the app open here just in case I have the opportunity to head towards the Box Hill to at least gain some elevation points in Zwift while I'm suffering. Get my cadence back up. It is kind of amazing how fast you can recover. Because even though I wasn't going all in for that first 8-minute effort, I was definitely feeling it. It hurt. But I definitely feel so much better right now. In another 2.5 minutes, I won't be saying that. But I'm going to soak it in and enjoy it right now. Again, I'll probably be putting my head down a little bit, pushing away. I got my heart rate down here on my bike so I can kind of, my magic number is when I hit the 170 mark. If I usually get much higher than that, I know I'm going to kind of blow out, so I try to keep my heart rate at that. Focus on keeping that same heart rate and still eking out a few more watts. At least that's what I try to do. All right, well, I'm going to plug back in here in a minute after I get my drink. Good song just started. Really good. And we're gonna get ready. It's asking me if I went out too hard the last time. Maybe I held back too much. Not too much, but I did a little. Knowing that another 8-minute interval was laying in wait. All right. It's encouraging me to go all out and don't hold anything back. Initially they said don't choke back the vomit. Now they're saying it's odd to think about food right now. It says keep cooling down. Once the workout ends, we'll automatically update your FTP. Sweat all over my keyboard. So what they do is they reduce that 8-minute FTP by 10% since it's a shorter FTP session to help calculate it. It says if you're not happy with the results just now, you can choose not to apply the newly calculated FTP. Well, I think mine is gonna be higher. Well, if they take 10% off, it's probably gonna be 250 to 260 something. Because I think I held it 99 or 95% above 260 that whole time, I think. I had some 280s and did exceed 300, and I don't think I was below 260 for more than a handful of seconds. It says it's also worth mentioning when we use FTP kilogram, FTP relates to your power output. Ooh. But the kg, kilogram, relates to your body weight. So if this relationship is important to you in your training, it is for me. Make sure you record any meaningful weight changes such that you track your improvement with your FTP along with the changes in your body weight, which I do every single day. Oh. Says congratulate yourself on a job well done. Get on top of that recovery nutrition. I think that involves a giant pizza. Slightly counterproductive. Ay, ay, ay. I'll probably put log that time when my second 8-minute interval or all-out power started, so it can be clicked to immediately, so you guys don't have to suffer through my initial suffering warm-up period. You can go straight to the fun. I didn't hammer it as much as I probably could have. I know it may look like I couldn't do much more, but I think I could have. I just get a little worried when my heart rate gets above. I saw it hitting 175. It's been a long time since I've had it up that high. Back when I was really out of shape. And I rode with a buddy of mine. Dave, you know who you are. My heart rate would just immediately spike at like 195. I think it might have hit 205 once. And this was no hard bike ride. It was just a bike ride. That's how out of shape I was. But nowadays, I can go all out, and for the most part all out, and not crest like 175, 180, maybe during crazy sprints. So I personally have come a long way with my fitness. I am glad for it. All right, 43 seconds left. And we will see what that magic number is. My fingers are crossed. It's above 260. If it's 261, I'll be thrilled. But this is the first time I've used TrainerRoad to calculate my FTP, so it'll be interesting to see what it calculates. I've done the long FTP tests, I've done the 20-minute FTP tests, and I've done the 8-minute. So far they've all been roughly the same. All right, 8 seconds. Come on. 242. That's not what I expected. But ironically, on another piece of training software I'm beta testing right now, that's what their FTP test also calculated for me, was 240. I think it might have been 242 actually. So maybe my 260 needs to be backed off a little. So, I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't, since it's overlaid on top of Zwift, but it says my new FTP is 242, current FTP is 260. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept that, since I'm starting this whole training regimen with TrainerRoad. I want to have that based on what it is. Now it's, you probably can't see this either, but it's throwing up all my results. I'll probably throw a picture of this maybe under my YouTube screen and on Twitch so everybody can see what it threw out there. Well, guess that's all for now, but I appreciate you joining me tonight for my pain and suffering. But thanks for joining me on my 8-minute FTP fun times. Time to eat everything in the house. Derek Whalen, the Biking Viking, signing off. Have a great, what's left of the night. Have a great night. Cheers.